Hi everyone, welcome to the new module Selection Statements Part 1. In this module, you will learn what are the selection statements, what is an if statement, how to use if statements to create the conditional statements in Java. And after learning this module, our programming gets more and more interesting because you will be able to write programs that can make decisions by using the conditional statements of Java. Okay, so let's get started. What are these selection statements in Java? In Java, selection statements are one of the three types of control flow statements. The control flow statements are known as the tools that are essential for determining the order and the condition in which code is executed. Control flow statements are the tools that are essential for determining the order and condition in which our code is executed. It allows us to write our programs for decision making, repetition, and branching. These selection statements are the ones that are used for the decision makings in Java. And there are different types of selection statements. They are if statement and switch statements. Okay. In this module, we will be mainly focusing on the if statements, and in the next module, we will talk about these switch statements. So what are if statements? So if statements, they are used for making decisions based on the specified criteria. Okay. They are also known as conditional control statements because you will specify the condition in the if statements expression. The if statements expression needs to be a Boolean, and you will give your Boolean condition. And the execution of the codes of this block will be depending on the evaluation of the Boolean expression. If the Boolean expression is evaluated to true, that means our codes will be executed. Otherwise, the specified codes within that block will not be executed. Okay? And when it comes to using the if statements, there are several different types of if statements. We have single if statement, and we have if and else statement, multi-branch if statement, and the nested if statement. Okay? Each of those the if statements are used for making decisions. The single if statement, it should be used when it comes to making decisions for one possible output. Okay? And if you need to make decision among two possible alternatives, then you could use if and else statement. So if there are two possible outputs that you need to create the conditions to address them, you could use the if and else statement to create the conditions for those two possible outputs. But what if we need to make decisions among several alternatives that are more than two? If there is only one possible output, we could use single if. If there was two possible output, we could use if and else. Remember, for if and else, there should be not more, not less than two possible outputs that you need to create conditions for. But what if I need to create conditions for several alternatives? What if I need to create conditions for several possible outputs? So if you need to write a program that can make decisions among several alternatives that are more than two, then you could use the multi-branch if. Okay? So by using multi-branch if, I will be able to create the conditional statements for three or more than three possible outputs. Okay? And the last one, the nested if, we will use it if we need to create preconditions for any possible outputs. If you need to create the preconditions for any other subconditions that you may have, then that's the time that we will use the nested if. So each of those if statements, they do have different use cases. In our next videos, we are going to go over each of those if statements one by one. We'll talk about how we should use a single if statement, when we should use the single if statements. And we will also talk about the syntaxes of those if statements. Plus, we will also do additional practices in our IntelliJ. Thank you so much, everyone. See you all in the next video.